Thank you all for joining us. My name is Hector Villarreal. Welcome to the hybrid meeting session of the Virtual Facilitation Summer Camp 2023. Wow, it's been already a little bit more than 2 months, but it's our last session. We started with the AI. I don't know if anybody here was in the AI session when we started. Raise your hand so we can know. Good. So we have some veterans from the first session. And actually, it has been a journey for Fernando and Alex and myself, because we actually selected. I think we selected topics that we would like to explore and to talk with one another and say, hey, and now let's bring everybody in and see what they think about all of this. So it's been quite a journey, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we did, because we're enjoying pretty much. So we're already thinking about 2024 actually. Uh, without the heat, of course. Just I think more mild weather would be better. So if you allow me, I'll just show you quickly what we're going to be joining. Please, if you've renamed yourself already with your name and city, so we like to know where people are coming from. we yeah, we're a little nosy, so we love to think about that. And we're going to be joining for the next 90 minutes to connect. We would like to please make sure that you shut off any distractions, make sure that you have a place to take notes. So you can take, if there's anything that you have a question that you might be able to ask after in the different sessions in different parts of the session that we have. And one of the things that we like to do is to help connect facilitators. I think that's one of the main reasons that we love to do things here. And we're going to be connecting today. But before, we need to remind ourselves what's the agenda, right? Sorry, a bad MC here.
Don't worry, we are used to that.
Thank you, much appreciated. So we're going to be networking today. We're going to be exploring the concept of hybrid and also in hybrid design and how to do flows and breakouts and some tips and suggestions that we've come across time. Some people say the hybrids are the most complex meetings. Alex says they're really easy to do. Thinks he's had a lot of he's had a lot of uh, experience, so I think that also has something related to that. But let's hope we all can learn from one another. And in order to do that, we'd like to for all of us to connect very very quickly. We're going to be doing a quick impromptu networking. We're going to be doing it in Spanish and English because we also have some Spanish participants and Spanish-speaking participants, and we'd love for them to actually be able to connect with one another as well into Spanish. So, Fernando, if you can just help me out putting the questions in the chat. So basically, what we were asking you to share is what has been your hybrid experience so far, and what worked very well and what didn't. Vamos a hacer unos primeros breakouts en español y en inglés. Y queremos que compartan entre sí cuáles han sido sus experiencias híbridas hasta el momento, qué les ha funcionado bien y qué no. Thank you for joining us. And so, Fernando, do we have the questions ready yet? Okay.
Are you going to launch the poll or do I?
You have the power, so you have to do it.
Okay, so here we go. Let's
Por
change.
favor, si pueden seleccionar su idioma. Oh, the things I'm not a co-host, so you don't like me anymore.
Ah, you left. Now you are. 20 of 20. Let's create the breakouts with 2 people. So let's see. Yeah, here we go. So you can go on I'll put you in one of the spaces, yeah, Hector.
Good. That's good.
Here we go. 4 minutes. See you in a bit. The questions are in the chat. And then we change pairs. Carla.
Hey.
Long time no see you. Okay, people are back. And let's do a second round. So let me wait for everybody to come back. Here we are. Okay, choose again the language.
And you see that it's totally random, but you have a real chance of going with the same guy.
Yeah,
Person.
it's called Zoom Karma.
Yeah.
It's an awesome opportunity to solve it in this existence. Not
Because maybe it's not it's not really random what we are implementing. That's a possibility.
Okay, so let me recreate the breakouts. And yeah, looks like our new breakouts. So 4 minutes.
Seguro.
And see you in a bit. Send questions. Let's put again in the chat just to guarantee that you have it in hand. See you in a bit.
Okay, welcome back.
Yeah.
So some of you have already experienced hybrid meetings. Some of you haven't. I mean, we've had participants that have both. En este momento, algunos de ustedes tienen experiencia más que otros, ya sea participando o facilitando sesiones híbridas. But now we want to understand a little bit more than your experience and collect some information from you, actually. So what we would like to ask you to do, we're going to do TRIS. Some of you might know TRIS from Liberating Structures. So we want to understand what can we do to ensure our hybrid meetings fail miserably. Queremos entender qué es lo que necesitamos para hacer que nuestras sesiones híbridas pues fracasen estrepitosamente. Entonces, we're going to document that on Stormz. Vamos a documentar eso en Stormz. We're going to do that on Stormz. So if you haven't, we're going to be using the same Stormz that we've used in previous sessions. They have the link on the chat. Please, let's just focus 2 minutes to document and do a quick brainstorming on how we can ensure that our hybrid meetings fail miserably. Vamos a hacer una pequeña lluvia de ideas para documentar cómo podemos hacer que nuestras sesiones híbridas sean un fracaso. Entonces, los invitamos a entrar y a compartir las ideas en Stormz. Si alguno de ustedes todavía no ha utilizado Stormz antes, lo único que necesitan es poner su nombre y hacer clic en el signo de más para capturar la información. You just need to click on the link, put your name on it, and just start and just adding one idea per card, please. Just make sure that you have one idea per card.
And for my information, Hector, are we supposed to see other people's ideas?
Nope. Sorry. Nope. No, we're not. Not yet.
Okay. Silent brainstorming.
Yeah. Just a very quick. 1 more minute to go. You're peeking into other people's ideas, Alex.
Yeah, I'm cheating.
That's the good thing about being the facilitator. Okay, 30 more seconds.
Two more people arrived, so bienvenida María and welcome Eric.
Hola, hola Fernando, hola Héctor, ¿cómo están? Good morning.
Eric, I'll put the link in the chat for you again, Maria as well. With you, Hector.
Okay.
50
So let's see.
ideas.
It's a good number.
I mean, when you do reverse brainstorming, I always see a smile on people's faces. I mean, it means a lot about human beings, right? We love to find reverse ideas.
Absolutely. Es muy divertido siempre ver cómo cuando hacemos un brainstorming inverso, toda la información que se va generando y la gente también sonríe mucho, como comentaba por ahí Alex. Entonces vamos a forzarnos un poquito más, vamos a forzarnos un poquito más y queremos que en grupos, una pequeña conversación, grupos de 3 o 4, que amplíen esa lista. We want you to expand your list. We're going to send you into breakouts. Again, we want you to force, okay, let's explore more ideas. Vamos a crear más ideas de cómo podemos hacer pedazos una sesión híbrida. How do we make it a complete mess when you were doing a hybrid meeting? Let's try some more. Let's aim for 10 more, 20 more, Alex? What do you think?
10 is okay.
10's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So are we ready, Fernando?
Almost there. People are answering the idioms. Please choose the
So-
idiom you want to be in a breakout.
So there is a little pitfall when you brainstorm in groups of threes, is that you tend to discuss a lot and not input ideas. So don't forget that the aim is that you produce ideas, so don't discuss too much. You have an idea, you write it down. You have an idea, you write it down.
Vamos a
5 minutes,
crear,
Hector.
entonces. Vámonos. Let's go. See
Here we
you in a
go.
little bit. Hey, everybody. Bienvenidos de vuelta. Great job. Gran trabajo por todos. Lots of great ideas. I'm just gonna put it on the screen so it gets recorded. We had a lot of information created here, like tech skills, make it a last minute hybrid meeting. Oh, that's something that clients love to do, right? Oh, by the way, this person is not going to be able to come face to face. We'll just join him online, right?
Oh, yes.
Raise your hand if you have that.
Yeah.
Yes, a todos nos ha pasado donde un cliente nos dice, por cierto, esta persona no va a poder venir y se va a quedar en su casa y se va a conectar desde su computadora para la reunión, para la planificación estratégica. Yeah, definitely suddenly hybrid.
From the mobile
Impromptu
app.
hybrid. Yeah.
Be
and
joining
by
from the mobile phone.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So we're gonna add just a quick. Alex was asking me to say, let's see if the AI has some new ideas that can be included. So I'm just gonna click here to see if there's anything else. Not much different. Interesting about the industry-specific language, but that could be applied for any facilitated meeting actually. And
Yeah.
let's do a quick cluster generation to see.
Not here.
Oh, sorry, not
Oops.
cluster. Oh, my bad. It was not. I clicked on the wrong one. My bad. So we're gonna just do a click clusterization. Here's we're gonna cluster it to see how many different. It's working, right, Alex?
Yeah, it's working, but you
Takes a
never
bit.
know what's going to be the results when it comes to AI clusterization.
So we have 10 clusters actually. Wow.
I think the
Yeah.
first one, has 24 cards. I'm going to generate another set of clusters with
Bridging
it.
physical and virtual spaces.
I'm doing it. Up.
Oh,
Yeah, I created some more.
got it. And actually, we haven't used this much with multiple languages, so we're curious about what the AI is doing in terms of it clusters by language as well.
we need a few things like being
Yeah, you
So
see that it's really interesting. It puts all the ideas in Spanish are put in the same clusters, and it doesn't mix any Spanish and English.
So it
Bad
makes
for him.
Spanish clusters and English clusters. Yes, that's too
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
That
And
was the
it
next
calls
level.
the Spanish cards communications breakdowns.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And
Oh, I like the solo facilitation pitfalls. Communication
that's one of the
breakdown.
things that I love the most is like the categorization titles. Los títulos de las categorizaciones de los grupos que crea la inteligencia artificial son muy interesantes.
Flexi.
¿Qué significa solo facilitation pitfalls?
It
Es
means.
como,
Vas-y.
go ahead, go ahead. Significa que con los errores de facilitar individualmente, o sea, tú por ti
Ok.
mismo, en lugar de pedir apoyo.
Okay.
O de
Yeah, you
apoyarse
need to
con
be
otros.
crazy to facilitate alone. I did that a
Sí.
lot.
Facilitar solo en ambientes híbridos como dice Alex, es una locura, realmente, y es demasiado estrés, a menos que domines demasiado la tecnología, el grupo sea de mucha confianza y puedas también pedir apoyo, ¿no? Al equipo como participante, pero muy, muy interesante los trabajos que tenemos por acá. Entonces ya sabemos lo que no tenemos que hacer. So now we know what we shouldn't be doing. But the thing here is then what actually is a hybrid facilitation, and we wanted to just set together a very quick definition for all of us to continue working on this session is, and it's when some people attending the meeting are located in a different place, right? Some people might be joining by video call or by video conference. So for example, this is a setup of my first big hybrid meeting that I did in 2018 in the Osaka conference of the IF. I was with a group in Osaka. We had a remote group in Tokyo and virtual participants across Southeast Asia. So this would be the definition that we'll be working on for the session today. And the thing with facilitation is hybrid sessions is that there's a different level of complexity, and sometimes complexity can be a little easy to work with or work through. Some of them sometimes might not be that easy. So for example, we say that a face-to-face group and have one or few online participants, that could be easy. Just bring a laptop, make sure that they can hear you well, and you create a buddy system where one participant is in charge of the hybrid participant, and they just move them around like a physical participant, and they're going together to the breakouts and stuff. So that's not that difficult. You can see there, for example, Edward Snowden there participating in a meeting there as well. If you go to the level 2 complexity, you can have you have a face-to-face group and you have a remote face-to-face group sitting in a physical place somewhere else. So you actually do have physical groups. So basically, you're having two meetings at the same time, and they're exchanging, right? If you continue, you have the face-to-face group with remote individual participants, everybody connected with their camera, right? With their own connection, and they're participating as well. And what some consider, or I consider, or the most complicated one, that you have a face-to-face group, you have remote groups in other locations, and then you have individual participants as well. So you have it all over the place. And why we say it's the most complex, because the logistics can be quite a nightmare. Planning is, I would say hybrid meetings is all about the planning. You get good planning and you can make it through. If you don't have any planning, you can get into a very complex situation. So, estos son los niveles de complejidad de nuestras sesiones híbridas, desde tener un participante solamente que lo puedes hacer partícipe de las discusiones a través de una tableta, una computadora, una laptop, o grupos remotos, tener varios grupos remotos o participantes individuales. Mientras más complejo, pues más logística y más preparación es la que se necesita. So, this is what I wanted to share with you, and we're going to go with Alex now. So, Fernando, can you just enable the translation for Spanish speakers?
Okay. Can you confirm that you can see my slide on the screen? Yeah, thank you, Marie-Hélène. And thank you, Anne-Marie. Okay, so we're going to speak about designing hybrid workshops. And for those of you who haven't met me, I'm Alex. I'm the founder of Stormz. I'm also the founder of the Agile agency. And basically, I've been leading workshops for over 10 years. And a lot of them were large group workshops, remote workshops. I've been doing that since 2012, and a lot of hybrid formats too. And today, I'd like to share my method for designing hybrid workshops. It's a method that I use a lot. And I think that this method really makes things easier. Easier to organize, easier to prep, easier to facilitate the workshop. So, and also I've seen it that it's quite effective. You can have a small number of participants, so maybe level 1 on Hector scale, or you can have hundreds of participants, and it's going to work. It's going to be easy to prepare, easy to facilitate, and also it's cost effective. So let's set the scene. So imagine that you have this. You have a big room filled with people. Let's call them the roomies. And then there's a smaller room with more roomies. And then you also got participants tuning in remotely. We call them the Zoomies. So all of that is fun terms that I picked from IAF UK. Thank you. I think it's really funny. And so you have a look at that, and you might think, wow, this is really hard. Maybe I should advise my client to skip it. And by the way, that's one of the conversations I had during the first breakout. And I see also a lot of LinkedIn posts to suggest that we should better advise our clients to do separate meetings, one meeting for the in-person, one meeting for async. But come on, let's not back down. This is our chance to master hybrid workshops. This is our chance to impress the clients. And I think maybe this is our chance to become billionaire. Okay, well, maybe not the last part. Okay, sorry, guys. So what is the method that I have used for my different hybrid workshops? So in fact, the secret is that I use the exact same method for hybrid workshops that the one that I use for large group sessions. I stick to the same design framework, and I employ the same collaboration technology in the same manner. There is only one twist, is that I add one constraint. And this constraint is very important to make it very easy. So before we dive into the hybrid sessions, I need to tell you how I design for large group and in person, okay? And it's going to be very quick, don't worry. So how do I design for large group in person? It's very simple. For large groups, I split the room into group of 3s. I love trios. And then into bigger discussion circles, 6 or 9. And then I have as many discussion circles as I need based on the number of participants. Usually you have tables, but not always. So the next thing is I use a framework that I call the 1-3-6-all method. So in this approach, each part of my workshop can be one of 4 things. It's either an activity for an individual thinking, or it can be a discussion or a debate in trio, or it can be sharing in circles, or it can be full group debrief in plenary. Okay, so let me show you a real design for a real workshop. So basically, what we could have is a first activity where we have an expert that share insights with everyone, so it's in plenary. Then a group of 3 is going to brainstorm ideas, just like you did in your breakout. Then these ideas are going to be shared and combined within their circle of 6. After that, maybe there is a debrief, popcorn style, share all the ideas. Then maybe we go back to individual voting, selecting the most promising ideas. And then we go back in plenary to display the results. And then to finalize, participant could reflect alone, or maybe it could have been in trio, or maybe it could have been in circles. I mean, it's just an example. Okay, so this is how I do for large group workshops. I've done workshops with hundreds of people that way, with tens of people, with thousands of people too, and it worked very well. So now, how does this work for hybrid setup? So first of all, let's see, this was our example. 3 spaces, a large room, a small room, and a group that is connecting remotely. So it's kind of level 3 or 4 from Hector, I don't remember. How are we going to set up each space? Well, easy. It's exactly what I do for large group in-person groups, teams. I would divide each one of the space into trios and into discussion circle. So here, for example, we have 30 roomies, 5 circles, 10 trio. Same for the small meeting room. And same for the remote space with 12 zoomies, 2 circles, and 4 trios. So it's exactly the same, but as you can see, there is one constraint when you create the trio, is that each one of them must only include participants who are in the same setting. This is how you are going to simplify everything. So the roomies work with the roomies at the same table, just like in my face-to-face workshops. And the zoomies, they're going to work with zoomies from the same virtual room as I do in all my remote workshops. And one of the great things is that you can do some very sophisticated workshop. And look at the previous design. Well, the one thing that I was doing with everybody in the same room, I can do exactly the same design with this complex hybrid setup. And it's a great setup. I mean, everybody has a say. It fosters discussions, individual thinking, large group debrief, groups of 6, groups of 3, and it really boosts what I call cross-pollination. Someone submits an idea and it is seen by many others. So in order to do that, we need to talk about tech, okay? In this kind of settings, a great digital tool is not a nice to have, okay? It's totally critical, it's essential. It's what makes the magic happen. It allows the ideas to move freely between the zoomies and the roomies, or between the roomies and the zoomies. I send an idea, it is seen by someone, so that someone can comment it, vote on it, etc., etc. Okay. If you're serious about collaboration, if you're doing sophisticated workshop on complex topic, what you need is a true collaboration tool. You cannot use an engagement map, an engagement app like Mentimeter or Slido. It's good for surveys, etc. But here you need a real collaboration tool. So you can use digital whiteboards. It's a great choice. And for example, I like Mural a lot, and I know that we have some guests from Mural. Hi, Jim. So I like because it's user-friendly and you can do some sophisticated real workshop. It's a collaboration tool. But here, let's talk a little bit about Stormz. So yeah, Full disclosure, I'm the founder of Stormz, and I'm just going to look at a few facts, okay? So Stormz is a collaboration board, and one of the key things is that it's great in the room because it's responsive. It works well on a phone. For example, it would be ideal for individual voting. It works on a tablet, which is perfect, as you can see on the photo, for capturing insights from small group discussions. Also, I'm really not a fan of seeing a sea of laptop screens in the room. They really get in the way. They create a visual barrier. I really don't like that, so I love iPads. The other thing is, as you can see, because if you've tried it, Stormz is super simple to use the first time. It means less time spent on explaining how to use it and more time on actual collaboration. And last but not least, it's a collaboration tool. So you have features to brainstorm, to pick the best ideas, to cluster them, to develop them into concept, etc., etc. So enough about Stormz from me. I think that was 45 seconds of shameless plug. Sorry for that. If you're curious, feel free to reach out. Okay, next. Let's get back to our hybrid design. Something really interesting and really cool. Look at that. The only truly hybrid part are the plenary segments. Okay, all the other ones, they are either in-person meeting or a remote meeting. Okay, so nothing new for you. Easy to facilitate, easy to organize. So the only moments that you need to really take care of in terms of audio quality, for example, are presenting slides, easy, debriefing, displaying and discussing vote results. So it's really limited to these specific moments. So managing the technical hurdles, they are still there, but they are a lot easier. So now I have a little extra. Maybe you're wondering where the facilitators should be. And ideally, you would have one in each room and also one to take care of the virtual space. But here is my personal favorite. You set up a little facilitation studio just next to the main room, not inside the room. Not good. But outside the room, a space just for you and your team and maybe the client. From there, you can keep an eye on everything. You can chat on Zoom. You can pop into the virtual breakouts. You can check the ideas and the vote on Stormz or on the whiteboard, and so on and so on. And you know what? If you're feeling very adventurous, you can even open the door of the big room and stroll into the main room to chat with the participant face-to-face, but only if you're brave enough. Okay? So before I end this presentation, I want to be honest with you. And nothing is perfect. And here, the downside of the way to this way to design hybrid sessions is that one roomie never talks to one Zoomie. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Now, so definitely, as we were sharing, one of the challenges of the method that Alex was sharing is that there's no direct connection between the participants in the face-to-face and the participants online. So that's one of the main issues. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, you can. We can hear you now, Alex.
So my it's Zoom who was buggy. I don't know why. So I had to close Zoom on my laptop. I can finish the presentation really quickly. Can you share the screen to the Let's Be Honest slide?
I'll share on my side and you get, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just saying that nothing is perfect. And the problem with this setup is that, well, if you have someone in a room and someone on Zoom, they never get to discuss each other. And sometimes it's a problem, but sometimes, and a lot of time, it's not. So you have to think depending on the context. And next slide. So could spend hours diving into the specific. I've just shown you an overview of how I design hybrid workshops, but there are much more to it. But the gist is simple. So you use the 1-3-6 framework. This way you give a voice to everyone. Then you add the constraint of keeping the roomies with roomies and the zoomies with the zoomies. And then you need to use the right collaboration software to enable cross-pollination between all the groups from the different zones and the different places and the different tables. So then if you can manage a smooth group debrief, well, normally you're set for a highly effective and a very seamless and fluid hybrid workshop. So that was all for now. Thank you for listening. Sorry for the bug. It had to be just 2 slides before the end, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed, and I think we will have the opportunity to answer questions later. And Fernando, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alex. So the idea now is to get in small groups to answer the question, what aspect is important for you to work with hybrid meetings next time? And also, if you have any question, you can share your questions in this small group conversation. You have 10 minutes. And if you don't have the answer within your group, bring it back to the main room because you have 10 minutes to do a quick sharing and Q&A. So let me run again the idioms. Language, here we go. Choose the language to organize the breakouts. Okay, here we go. 4 people, 5 breakouts, and 10 minutes. Let me put the timer. Good to go. Hector, translation is going. Okay, here we go. 10 minutes. See you in a bit. People are coming back. Okay, guys. We have.
Hey, Hector, you're in the car.
Good.
Yeah.
Welcome.
We are. Okay, so the idea is to hear some highlights, not everything that you discussed, but some highlights, something that you heard that it's very important for everybody else to also hear. And if you have also a burning question, bring it on. We have more or less 3 minutes per group. And we can start maybe with the first group. Doreen, Ivona, Karen, and Laura. What happened there?
We're going to activate interpretation now. So you can speak in Spanish or in English.
Okay, I can talk about what we were talking about. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So but it was really interesting, our group. We had people who had some experiences in hybrid and also people who had more experiences as participants as opposed to facilitators with kind of like change at the end, you know, what are some of the things maybe to watch for when you facilitate. So anyway, so from my experiences, I like what Alex mentioned. Keep the zoomies together, keep the roomies together. It's something which I've been doing anyway. But you know, I shared my story where my clients dump on me that sort of, you know, actually there was going to be people joining in, by the way, and we still don't know how many, but it could be up to 10, and I don't know whether they're going to be from one location or not. And by the way, I'm off on vacation. I see you on Thursday, and you know, so I was like, oh, and it's kind of matters because, you know, I submitted a proposal for in person, and then, you know, how do you recover that when we don't even have enough time to discuss the complexity, and it's kind of really complex one-day workshop. So so, you know, and I like that when Alexi gave me hope, saying, you know, actually you can make it really simple, really simple. And I love simplicity. So anyway, my point was, I think you've got to capture the client requirement as early as possible, as precisely as possible, to really highlight to the client the challenges. You know, so you need to know, you need to team up with someone or not. I kind of like failed on that one. And then basically you got to reach out to bunch like yourself and beg for help. So that's really what we were talking about. It was good when the ladies shared from the experiences as participants, you know, the freedom to choose the groups, if that's what your workshop is about, or, you know, the technology that really could work for the team. You know, one thing I want to share before I end, my observation is that when you have groups right now coming to do in-person workshops, they actually want to do stickies. That's sort of my observation, is that if you go to corporation, they just kind of like want to do their own thing the way they did before. And I will say, hey, guys, have you got 5 laptops? I would love that. And I was in those sessions participating, and I think they can really add value. But I can see when you've got little time, you've got to judge, you know, you got to do it your way because you believe so, because it will be good one, or you just kind of like, you know, do a hybrid on hybrid, you know. Because that's kind of what they used to. So you got to really tune into your clients and find out what they actually ready to do. That would be my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivana.
Sometimes you need to push the clients to.
Yeah. Prevent the snapback. So
Yeah,
let's
I
hear
get that,
the
yeah.
other group, Eleanor, Eric, and Susanna.
I could share. We talked first about needing more intense levels of communication before, during, and after with the client, with the participants, with your facilitation team. We said really the thing we're not there yet on is how to find the mix between the in-person and the remote participants, because depending on the balance, in your example, Alex, you had a good number of people in the big room, the small room, and then Zoomies. But if you only have a couple of Zoomies, then they're only ever talking to each other. So they're not fully integrating. So I think, you know, you do have to look at the complexity. And I think it was, Ivana, what your examples, you don't really know. Whoever said, you know, suddenly hybrid, like this last minute, like, oh, by the way, they're going to phone in. You're like, they're going to phone it in. So, but we talked a lot about what the composition of each room is in terms of who's in there, what's their technical capability, and what their comfort level is. And assume that you're going to have tech challenges. So we talked about having the first plan, the alternative plan, a contingent plan, and an emergency plan, so that you're always, you know, kind of and doing that. But ultimately, the wish is that we could figure out a way to have everybody interacting. So we're not probably quite there yet. They can do it through some of the online tools in that way, but they're not having the conversation. So looking at the composition of your group, if you only got 5 remote people and 50 in-person people, I think, Eric, we were saying this, you know, do you plan around the 5 people, or do you maximize the 50 people? And ultimately, it comes back to what's the purpose of the meeting? What's your outcome and objectives? So you're trying to do so that you can design the right approach, not just worry about trying to include everybody, because it always comes back to what's the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I missed, team?
Thank you, Susanna. So now we have Anne Murray, Linda Frost, and Mary Ellen. Linda is smiling.
Go for it, Linda.
That's not why I was smiling. I was looking at poor Hector trying to do simultaneous translation. Good job, Hector.
Lo siento.
I'll try to talk slowly. We talked about liking the 1-3-6 all structure. We thought that was a really helpful way to configure things, including in meetings that aren't hybrid. So that was a good takeaway for us. We realized that initially we struggled with the idea of not connecting individuals across locations, but we realized it depended on the goals of the meetings and to a certain extent on the size. Like I work a lot with smaller groups of 20 to 25, maybe board meetings, strategic planning, and I want to connect everybody, and I design a hybrid meeting differently in order to do that. But my structure breaks down if you get much larger than 25. And in a larger meeting, generally, you don't need to connect each person with everybody. They can meet new people in the individual group. So once we realized that we needed to really focus on the goals and the size, it really came together in our heads. We also talked a bit about how to message to participants ahead of time that they need to be actively engaged. And we said that, you know, you can tell people that, but they don't believe you. But, you know, it still helps to say it. Having a planning team is helpful too, because they'll understand from the methods in the planning process that it will be interactive. But we also said that this meeting was a good role model because early on we did impromptu networking. So we had to actively engage. And so at the beginning of the hybrid meeting, if you have techniques that really require people to actively engage, they figure it out and either drop off the meeting or they set aside their other work and focus on the meeting. I don't know, are there other things that I've missed, group?
Yeah, the format you liked, the 136. That one worked. So good
sure.
tip. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you. So we have 2 more groups. So in Spanish, now Hector will be working on the reverse side. So Fabio, Hector, Mauricio, and Miguel. Despacito.
Ok, bueno.
I didn't take notes, so please, Fabio.
Ok, sí, yo voy a decirlo muy rápido en español porque mi inglés es muy malo y cada día es peor. No mejora, es peor. Sí, lo siento. Voy a decirlo muy rápido, pero también voy a copiar el resumen en el chat porque es bastante. Estoy dejando ahí en el chat y ya en inglés, porque eso sí es más fácil para mí, escribir en inglés. Estoy dejando en el chat las opiniones del grupo y básicamente son estas. Y es que tenemos que, de las cosas que tenemos que hacer, que de aquí en adelante que sucedan cuando planifiquemos un híbrido, es que tenemos que garantizar que la polinización de ideas sea efectiva. Me encantó esa analogía desde decía en el grupo. Tenemos que hacer que las ideas circulen y evolucionen para que tengamos una facilitación efectiva. Tenemos que garantizar nosotros la calidad de la transmisión. No podemos hacer más, no podemos mejorarle los datos a la gente ni garantizarle electricidad, como dijo alguien. De ahí tenemos que tener claridad en nuestros equipos, tenemos que tener claridad en la logística y en el diseño de los contenidos. Todo eso es algo que tenemos que trabajar nosotros. También el timing, manejar bien los timing, tanto presenciales como los timing que se están dando en Internet, porque no son los mismos. A veces termina antes el presencial, termina después el de Internet, y en ese lapso de tiempo los grupos tienden a descontrolarse, como decía alguien del equipo. También, pues, tenemos que ver qué hacemos mientras el virtual sigue trabajando, la presencial ya terminó, hay que hacer que no se descontrole. Cuando ocupamos otras herramientas en el híbrido que no son la plataforma en la que estamos transmitiendo, tenemos que escoger herramientas simples, muy simples, que tengan una baja curva de aprendizaje. Que esas herramientas no hagan que se atrase más el trabajo por estar aprendiendo cómo se ocupan, que sean lo más simples posibles, muy simples, que se puedan manejar desde un teléfono o que se puedan manejar en la misma pantalla. A veces la gente solo tiene una pantalla en su computador, en su laptop, y no tiene otro dispositivo, entonces o ve algo en la pantalla o no lo ve. Entonces tenemos que tener una herramienta que sea muy simple, que nos permita ver la proyección del que está hablando y usar la herramienta. Ponemos allí varias, ¿verdad? Stormz, por ejemplo, la otra es Mural, Mio, cierta complejidad en estas dos últimas, pero de ahí están Padlet o Menti, que también son muy simples. Si pudiéramos tener algo más simple, sería mejor. También, pues, ocupar estas herramientas de la manera más profesional, o sea, que la gente no se sienta mal si no sabe ocuparlas, y por eso tiene que ser muy rápido. Tenemos que ser muy diplomáticos, ¿verdad? Para decir las cosas, pero al mismo tiempo ser muy firmes, muy estrictos para que los grupos no se descontrolen ni presencialmente ni virtualmente. Y que este último tiene que ver con que las ideas circulen, esta última que tenemos acá, que sean diferentes grupos los que evalúen ideas de otros grupos. De esa manera las ideas van a circular. Estas, entre otras cosas que conversamos para mejorar nuestros futuros eventos híbridos. Nada más. No sé si algo me faltó, me ayudas ahí, por favor, Miguel Ángel o Mauricio.
Creo que fue lo más importante. Gracias, Fabio.
Awesome. So to close, Ileana, Julian, and Jimena.
Sí. ¿Quieren que Jimena, Julio? ¿Quieren que diga yo? Sí, ok. Bueno, creo que no fuimos tan prolíficos en ideas como Fabio recién, pero sí sacamos algunos conceptos que nos parecen muy importantes. En primer lugar, bueno, vimos también, como el otro grupo, que la práctica esta 1, 2, 3, 6 Sol nos abrió a una posibilidad que inicialmente considerábamos casi inviable, o sea, cómo hacer para manejar semejante complejidad. Sin embargo, parece viable, no sabemos si ideal, pero sí viable y posible. Así que bueno, fue súper enriquecedor para todos compartir, que nos compartan esta información y esta dinámica. Por otro lado, también entendemos, somos todos latinos en este grupo, y entendemos que tendríamos que limitar el alcance de la expectativa que se da a un workshop o a una tarea de este tipo. ¿Por qué? Porque entendemos que se puede compartir ideas, polinizar y enriquecer a través del trabajo de distintas miradas y distintos grupos, pero no necesariamente integrar, porque como buenos latinos, la integración también pasa por otras áreas, digamos, de compartir un café, una charla después del trabajo, conocernos más personalmente, o sea, lo vemos más difícil. En este sentido, también, o sea, nos parece muy importante delimitar frente a un cliente el alcance que podría tener una actividad de este tipo, donde entendemos que sí hay muchísimo para compartir, pero no necesariamente llegar a la integración, ¿sí? Integración de grupos, por ejemplo. Bueno, y después también una idea que surgió es la posibilidad de, si tenemos grupos en lugares muy remotos que van a trabajar, poder hacer instancias previas con cada uno de esos grupos como para conocerlos mejor, y después en una instancia en donde se comparten con cada uno de esos grupos, hacer el intercambio juntos, como una previa al trabajo híbrido que se puede hacer. A ver si me olvidé algunas cosas, ¿me ayudan mis compañeros?
No, creo que hiciste un buen resumen, no se me ocurre algo más. Gracias.
Gracias.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Hector, if you can get the link from the advanced program and in Stormz to put in the chat, it would be awesome. So quick notes about the summer camp and what it's coming up. It's that we are thinking about offering some masterclass about these topics, but we want to run a quick survey with you before we close. And thank you so much for attending the sessions. It was delightful to be working with Alex and Hector along these weeks. and sharing it with you and learning along the way. So we are keen to keep diving in, but we need these inputs from you. So do you get the link, Hector?
It's the same as the workshop, so
it's the same one. So let me put it again on the chat. Where is it? Here it is. So there is the link for Stormz. If you can select the ones, just sort these topics based on your interest. What is more important for you? So these are I can put on the screen as well.
So the most important is the one you put first, and the least important topic would be the one you put at the bottom of the list. And you just have to drag and drop.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll be sharing the results after the session. So thank you so much for coming today. And if you came to the other sessions, thank you even more.
Perdón, no veo el enlace de Stormz.
It's on the Zoom chat, Mauricio.
Okay.
Yeah, it's again there. And the title is Advanced Program. Hector, Alex, last words to close.
Wow, that was quite a ride. And lots of work, by the way, 5 webinars in a row. But I feel like it's also a great way to go deeper on the topic. The fact that we had all this conversation with everybody, so many insights we got from the conversation, the breakouts. So, I mean, if you invite me to do that again next year, I think I will be for it.
El próximo año me gustaría mucho también para pensar ya en el Summer Camp del año que viene.
Hector?
You need to disable the translation,
Fernando.
It's off already.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Quisiera simplemente dar las gracias. Creo que nuestra profesión de la facilitación es algo que está en continua evolución. I think our profession is continually evolving. I think the pandemic showed us a lot of things that could happen, but I think we're just I think sometimes it's just the tip of the iceberg because there's so many things that still facilitation can do. And I think that it's also a responsibility to show our clients, our communities, what can be done when people are actually having a real conversation to decide things, when you empower the participants and to make things happen. Creo que realmente hay mucho todavía por enseñar a nuestros clientes, a los participantes, y a todos en ese sentido de que hacia dónde va la facilitación, lo que puede ofrecer, ayudando a las comunidades y sobre cómo cuando ayudamos a un espacio a tener realmente una muy buena conversación. De verdad que hay mucho por hacer en ese sentido. There's a lot of things to do, and we thank you for joining us during the week. Much appreciated. We really love doing this. Actually, we were talking that if we were millionaires, we were probably doing this thing already anyway. But because we're just, so we would be probably doing this just for the sake of making sure that we just discuss the stuff. Fernando and myself and I, we would like to keep in touch with all of you. If you haven't been in touch with us, or you don't have our emails, WhatsApp or LinkedIn, we're sharing it on the chat, so you can connect with us in case you're not connected with us still. Feel free to connect with us. We're always happy to share, or ideas, sometimes just to have a conversation about what you've been doing. We love to do that, actually. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say goodbye. Es difícil decir adiós y que se termine esto, caray.
Muy bueno. Thank you. Gracias. Obrigado. Arigato.
For everybody, it's really hard to say
Muchas
goodbye.
gracias.
Muchas
Well,
gracias
don't
a
say
todos.
goodbye. Just say
No,
see you next time.
See you
See
soon.
you
See you next
soon.
time.
Hasta luego. Muchas gracias.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Gracias a todos, de verdad.
Adiós, muchísimas gracias.
Foto.
Gracias.
No se
Chao.
vayan, foto. Siempre se nos. We always forget to take the last picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good.
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you.
If you have
Bye-bye.
any questions, we're here. Happy to be with you.